What's going on, everybody? This is the blockchain backer bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. And today we have a green day over here in the cryptocurrency market. So we're going to take a look over here at the Bitcoin price chart briefly. But obviously, we've had a lot of volatility happen in the market over the last couple of days. I've been spending the last 48 hours just diving deep and deep and deep to try to figure out how to solve the puzzle. And I do see some optimistic things I want to share with you here that I have discovered over the last day. Obviously, one of the things we discovered in the market that happened in the midst of the chaos that happened 2 days ago was that huge buy volume came in for a lot of these altcoins. If we look at things like Ethereum, you could see that dip was massively bought up, much more than the capitulative sell volume that happened in there. So we know that. We were looking for that to see if that could stop the price action. It has stopped it. And then a few altcoins have gone on to set new all-time highs, such as Solana and Algorand, and the total altcoin market cap has had a pretty decent bounce come up off of those lows. But the big question is there anything more to this, right? Was this just a technical move? Was this some type of throwback to back test, some type of broken through resistance, confirm it as some type of new support? So we're going to look around at the things that we've been talking about for the last several months. For the last few months, we've actually taken a look at this IOTA chart in depth many times, studying this correction, what it looked like before it went off into one big final surge for the market, which is what I keep talking about where I think that we're at within this market, is that there's one big final big move that is left in the market before we go off into some type of prolonged bear market. But that this corrective structure was very similar to what we were seeing currently right now in the market, and compared to what we saw happen with XRP back in 2017 before it went off to continue the bull run even higher. And that this correction and recovery here for IOTA and the correction and recovery for XRP in 2017 has very closely matched what we've seen been happening over here in the total altcoin market cap, and for many of these altcoins showing very similar correction and recovery structures from what we have seen before in the cryptocurrency market before the big euphoric bubble gets blown. And so over the last several months, we spent a lot of time talking about this on the IOTA price chart, how there's this big crash, there's two bounces, then you see a sideways capitulation, and then you test the bottom a second time without setting a new low, and then off and away you go. And one of the things we noticed over here on IOTA during this time period is how much volatility showed up right in here, right at these retracement levels, and that it was pretty chaotic. And this is actually a 33% fall that happened back in here. And we could see where IOTA came back down to correct to, right over here near these double bounces that were taking place. But if you're just hearing this for the first time, it is important that you understand, and I'll explain it in less than 30 seconds, is that we had the fall, two bounces, sideways, capitulation, don't set a new low, and off and away we go. That's the exact same thing we saw during a different time period for XRP. So that correction was in late 2017. This one for XRP is in March and April of 2017. Crash, two bounces, sideways, capitulation, doesn't set a new low, off and away it goes. But the reason why we've been studying this so much, crash, two bounces, sideways, capitulation, is because we've seen that everywhere in the market right now. It's exactly what Ethereum has been doing. Crash, two bounces, sideways, capitulation, doesn't set a new low, off it goes. It's exactly what Cardano did. Crash, two bounces, sideways, capitulation, doesn't set a new low, off it goes. And it's exactly what we've seen happen over here in the total altcoin market cap. Crash, two bounces, sideways, capitulation, doesn't set a new low, off it goes. And so the structure over here on IOTA has been highly interesting to see what happens as it gets back to retracement levels. And what happens during this time period is extreme volatility. Now, what would be really interesting to know is what is IOTA doing right now, right? This is back in 2017. Well, let's take a look, shall we? And as we can see, the same corrective structure. And as it gets back to the retracement levels, extreme volatility shows up. Just like we had back in here in 2017, we're seeing happening right in here. And what we know was back in 2017, when that volatility came in, it was back in kind of playing around with the top of these two double bounces over here. And what is IOTA doing right in here? The exact same thing, where these two bounces come in before capitulation, and you can see that's the area that got back tested again for IOTA with the same type of volatility at the same location, testing the same areas of support that were previous resistances. That also appears to be what Ethereum has done back over here, and Cardano, and the total altcoin market cap. How about XRP? Definitely has some wicks that come down in here, but we can see that price level has still been holding, all still following what that corrective structure and recovery structure looks like and where volatility shows up. So while crazy and chaotic and it happens so fast, if we look over here at IOTA, you see it. You see the crash, the two bounces, sideways capitulation, doesn't set a new low, breaks up, back tests the two bounces, off it goes. What do we have happening with the total market cap of crypto? Crash, two bounces, sideways capitulation, doesn't set a new low, breaks out, massive test back into the two bounces, and then recovery. Now, one of the other charts we've been comparing against has been Cardano versus Litecoin, because on the long-term view, and I'll show that in a second, Cardano and Litecoin have been identical in regards to a multi-year time frame setup. One of the things we've talked about with Litecoin has been that even once it got through the all-time high, didn't necessarily mean that it held it. We can see that it did clear its all-time high previously, but still had a massive pullback that ended up occurring before it finally did recover and go shooting off into outer space. And if I take that off a log scale, you get a better idea of how big of a move that was. So it's not crazy to see that Cardano did dip down below its all-time high when we have seen that happen before, and to see the area that it did go test, the double bounces. And as we can see right now, it has reclaimed back above that all-time high already. But to see why this chart has mattered for Cardano versus Litecoin has been comparing what happened. You can see Litecoin, this is years of bear market where all of this consolidation took place for Litecoin back in here in 2017, and seeing that over here on Cardano, that it was the exact same, all of this consolidation taking place in here. Also with Cardano, you can see that its first attempt to break out right here went up to the 1.618 retracement level or extension level, then pushed back hard. That's the exact same thing that happened for Litecoin back in here, pushed out to the 1.618 extension level, pushed back hard, and then it took a while to work its way back up to that all-time high at that 1.68 extension, then had a lot of volatility in there, and that's exactly what we're seeing happening over here with Cardano at this same location. But the thing that Litecoin signified in this moment, and I've gone into in depth with this on several videos, is that there are leaders and laggards, and there's mid-pack in this cryptocurrency market, and that this was a leader back in 2017, and Litecoin finished its bull run before a lot of the altcoins had their chance to take off. So viewing Cardano has been as one of those leaders. When is the top of Cardano going to come in, and is that going to signify a rotation into the rest of the market? Because Cardano is the number 3 by market cap in the cryptocurrency market, and there's a lot of money in there that can flow and sprinkle around. But as we can see with this move that has happened right in here, it's nothing out of line with what also occurred back in there. In addition, with Solana and Algorand both setting new all-time highs, that's pretty optimistic. And when we look at the total market cap of all of crypto and the area that it just pulled back to, was right there on top of the double bounces, and it still gives me my conviction for my belief that this market is still going to crush it and break into a new all-time high after finding a resistance at the 4.236 extension based on the rally prior to capitulating back in 2018, and that move appears to have been simply technical, and it showed up in this market right where we've seen it before, on the exact same thing that we've been monitoring the entire time of this whole correction and recovery that has happened in the crypto market. So, all right, guys, that'll be it. I hope that you guys enjoyed that. Definitely been beating my head against a wall for the last couple of days trying to solve things. It's hard when things are moving really fast, but if you give it enough time and if you're patient and you're calm, sometimes you can make sense of a lot of the chaos that does go on in here. So hopefully that is what's going on. It looks good to me. Hopefully that kind of cleared the picture and gave you some more stuff to investigate for yourself, but I like it. All right, that's it. That'll wrap it up. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's a short video today, but I think it proved the point pretty good. If you guys are looking for something to do, of course, you can check out my website over here. This is bcbacker.com. This is my course that I put together where I deep dive into the previous Bitcoin bull runs and the different altcoin seasons or the altcoin market cycles, tying them all together to show how this market has worked in the past. I talk about my personal exit plans in this course, and I also teach you a lot about mathematics and and percentages, and I teach you how to set up your own charts and your own indicators within TradingView and CoinTrader Pro so you can do your own charting. I did also include a market update in here recently on August 31st that's available to anybody who is already enrolled in the course and anybody who newly enrolls in the course. And you can check out all of this educational content over here on bcbacker.com. You can follow me over here on Twitter at bcbacker. And I want to thank you guys so much for watching my channel. If you could, please like this video and give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified of when I create new content and when I go live. As always, this is not investment advice and I am not a financial advisor, but if you ever need a pick-me-up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. Have a good one.